All right, well, hello everyone and happy Tuesday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday so far, wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. Now first, let's begin with the weather, as it remains a 48 first alert weather day due to the extreme heat. And it's definitely staying hot and humid out there. And I cannot stress enough the importance of hydration if you're out in this weather. But it does look like it'll feel a little bit of relief heading towards the tail end of the week. Let's turn over to meteorologist Jeff Denoyer for what to expect. Jeff?
Hey, good Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Tracking heat, humidity, temperatures once again mid to upper 90s, feels like 110. Extreme heat warning for today. Okay, and the counties in purple behind me. I'll show you this graphic in a moment. What's confusing is it ends at 9 p.m. and you think, oh, we're done with the heat, but there's also a heat advisory that's been extended into Wednesday now too. So probably one more day of pretty hot and humid conditions as we go into the middle part of the week. We're not quite done yet. So what you do is you hope to pop a thunderstorm or two. And we had a few yesterday for Northwest Alabama. We have a few trying to pop right now. The coverage is minimal, and I think it will stay that way throughout the afternoon into the evening. But if you were to get a storm, it will cool you off a bit. But I think more areas will stay dry than get wet. And the headline is certainly the temperatures. A lot of mid to upper 90s out there. 97 in the Shoals as I record this. 95 in Huntsville and 97 in Scottsboro. Feel like temperatures have approached 110 degrees in many areas. Florence at 112 right now. So yeah, certainly warrants the extreme heat warning that was issued by the National Weather Service for the counties in that purple color or that pink color. And again, it ends at 9 p.m., but we're not done with the heat and humidity. There's more of it coming tomorrow. Now, the biggest question on Wednesday, and we do have a 48 first alert weather day for Wednesday as well, is do we get to 95? It's all going to come down to when the storms fire up. Some of the models, forecast models, especially the high-res models, have all the storms popping around noon. If that happens, you will not hit 95. If the storms happen later in the day, you will definitely hit 95. However it plays out, more storms in the forecast for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But notice the temperatures dropping with more clouds and rain in the forecast. That'll keep us in the low to mid 80s as we get through Sunday afternoon.
Definitely good to know, and it's important to remember that rain coming at the end of the week will definitely cool us off going into the 80s rather than the 90s. But also don't forget First Alert Weather Extra. That's tonight at 9:30. First Alert meteorologist Jeff Denoyer, he'll be back here in the CTV Center, and he'll have all the latest that he is seeing on the radar, along with updates. Feel free to leave a comment on his stream. You can watch it wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. He always has a great time with it, and he will shout you out. So leave any questions, comments, concerns you might have. Leave it all to Jeff 100%, but you're just not going to want to miss it. Again, it is at 9:30 tonight. But now heading out to Priceville, where police have now released surveillance footage of the suspects connected to a bank robbery last week. Now, if you all remember, 2 bank employees were preparing the ATM for the day when 3 or 4 people dressed in dark clothing with masks on got out of a black sedan and approached the staff. The masked suspects were able to get away with an undisclosed amount of cash but from the ATM before fleeing the scene. Now, since that robbery, Priceville police released a bulletin of suspects and have had numerous calls from different departments across Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and Mississippi of similar robberies. Investigators followed the car tag and it led them to a home in Huntsville. The owner of the car tag did not know her tag was stolen and did not have any part in the robbery. Now today, Priceville police officials released this photo of the suspects. That's what you're seeing on screen. Priceville Police Chief Jerry Holmes says he believes this robbery was part of a theft ring operation across the Southeast. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more. And now in Rogersville, where a man has been arrested after allegedly assaulting a woman and threatening to kill both her and her child. Now, officials say a month ago, 28-year-old Silas Kane Ham, that's who you're seeing on screen, allegedly assaulted a woman he was dating after a social event. Witnesses told investigators that Ham physically attacked the victim, placing his hands around her neck and keeping her from breathing. Investigators also noticed visible injuries consistent with strangulation. Officials say Ham allegedly threatened to kill the victim, her young child, and then later himself. After investigators interviewed the victim, collected evidence, and reviewed medical evaluations, it was determined there was probable cause. On July 28th, Ham was arrested and charged with domestic violence. He was booked into the Morgan County Jail, where he's being held on a $50,000 bond. But now, moving over to a story in case you missed it out of Morgan County, sheriff's deputies now have some fresh new equipment after receiving $600,000 in federal funds. 48's Nick Ballinger spoke with Congressman Dale Strong all about it. Let's take a listen.
Christmas came early for the Morgan County Sheriff's Office. 7 new patrol trucks, along with body cameras, vests, and other gear, is now in the hands of deputies. The price tag, totaling over $500,000, is all paid for by the federal government.
All equipment is very expensive, so the need is always there.
Sheriff Ron Puckett says a lot of the department's equipment was outdated and needed to be replaced, so he made a call to Congressman Dale Strong.
While we've made a lot of cuts at the federal level, the big thing you can't cut is national security and local law enforcement. And it's hard to find these kind of dollars in local government and also in D.C.
The $595,000 was earmarked in a 2024 appropriations package, securing $18.5 million for North Alabama. The same package provided over $8 million to fund Huntsville's northern bypass.
These are ways that you can advocate for your community, not only for your nation, but also for your community. But this was a way that we could return some tax dollars here to this area. I never apologize for bringing dollars back to our district.
Sheriff Puckett says replacing this much equipment at once comes with a big price tag, one he'll gladly let the federal government pick up.
We'd still be able to operate. Obviously, we had vehicles, but to be able to provide better vehicles, newer cameras, newer vests, certainly helps protect not only our deputies, but our citizens.
And now we're going to head to break, but coming up, details on an extremely sad situation in state news after a 3-year-old was left in a hot car, and a new preschool in Decatur. It's all ahead. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. Right. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, in a bit of state news, a very sad situation out of Birmingham. A 3-year-old boy is dead after he was left in a hot car. This all while being under the care of the Alabama Department of Human Resources. WBRC's Bria Chapman with the story.
The recording we received from a family member only has part of the conversation, which begins with the transporter explaining what happened. She says, "I went to the daycare and I got sidetracked and stopped off and got something to eat. And when I came out, instead of going to the left to the daycare because I got called and said I didn't have a case, I instantly said to myself, oh, I'm done for the day. I'm going to go home." Stark's father responds to that, saying that they left his son. The transporter then says that instead of going to the daycare, they came home and forgot Starks was in their back seat. Now, they repeatedly apologize and say that there are not enough words to express how bad they feel. This is when one of Stark's relatives comes in. She responds and says, That baby died in a car. He suffocated. He didn't have no help, no nothing. You had the child safety lock on the doors. You didn't think to look in the back seat? The transporter responds and says, "No, ma'am, I did not." They proceed to explain what happened, and she ends with saying, "I wouldn't have killed no child." Now, they continue to talk a little bit before the recording ends, and the Jefferson County Coroner's Office says Stark sat in the backseat of a car on Pine Tree Drive from 12:30 until 5:30, and sadly, he was pronounced dead 30 minutes later.
Extremely sad situation there, but now moving over to Decatur, where new students will now have a brand new facility for their young learning. A brand new preschool will open starting this school year. 48's Callie Neese, all about it.
Best Pre-K or Building Exceptional Students for Tomorrow is Decatur City Schools' newest school. Now, Pre-K is not new to Decatur, just the building is. Superintendent Michael Douglas told me that there will no longer be pre-Ks in elementary schools. All of them have been moved to this building. He says this will not only allow for equal education across the district for all pre-K students, but to also allow for growth in all DCS elementary schools by freeing up one more classroom.
Just everything we do here is taken with a long-term approach.
Douglas adds that pre-K will now have tailored access to academics, athletics, and the arts, saying that this is also an opportunity for teachers to better collaborate with each other now that they're all in the same building.
So having a school that is really designed for our pre-K students, we felt like would set them up for success. We all know that if you get a kid started in pre-K, they're going to be that much further ahead when they start kindergarten.
Superintendent Douglas told me that over 300 students will be starting here this year. And for more information on start dates and times for schools all over the valley, visit our website, WAFF.com. Reporting in Decatur, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Yeah, but hard to believe school is already starting back. It felt like it was just the start, like school was just getting out, honestly. But wow, that is just so crazy. But now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. A 13-year-old in Decatur heading off to college. Get the details on that very impressive kid coming up. Another story you're just not going to want to miss. 5 medical staff members charged in connection to a man's in-custody death in Walker County. Get that story. And finally, details on the shooting yesterday afternoon in Manhattan that left 5 people dead. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And it is 3:51. It looks like it is just about that time. It is time, of course, for Facebook fun and our 48 Facebook question of the day. What movie would you choose to live in for a day? Just one day. You can live in any movie, any film of your choice. And that is a tough one for me, honestly. I think I am going to look to see what some of you might have said, and let's see if I get any ideas. So let's see what you all had to say. The Notebook, that's what Tasha Wood said. I honestly have not seen The Notebook. I have not seen that movie, but I hear it is very much a romantic movie. I feel that. Katie said Harry Potter absolutely would be fun to do magic. Yes, go off to Hogwarts. I think I would either be a Hufflepuff or a Gryffindor. I've tested for both, and I've gotten results for both. Stephanie said Legally Blonde. I was actually in a stage production in high school of Legally Blonde. I played Grandmaster Chad, who was basically just a UCLA frat boy. It's kind of a side character. Back to the Future, that would be another awesome movie. Willy Wonka, Karen Moss. I would love to have the amount of candy that Willy Wonka had, but I would be severely overweight, so I would have to choose not to be in Willy Wonka. Not because I don't like candy, but because, yeah, I'd just be eating it all the time. But let's see, I missed one of the comments. Which one did I miss? I said Lion King. No, I didn't. I did not say Lion King. Hannah Morrison said Lion King, and that would be another awesome one to be in. It would be great to be a lion, or really any of the animals, except for maybe an animal that doesn't get eaten. But that would be another great film to be in. But y'all, you all had some super awesome comments, as always, on our 48 Facebook question of the day. Thank you all for commenting and letting me know. Out of all those, I think I would have to go with Harry Potter. I think it would be super awesome to be in Harry Potter and Wingardium Leviosa, all that good stuff, Swish and Flick. 100%. But anyway, that is just about all the time I have for today's Before the Four. Thank you all for sticking around with me and spending a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Enjoy tonight's evening newscast. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.